This conference will now be recorded.
Recording. Cottage Grove Town Board will hold a public meeting beginning at 7 p.m. on Monday, October 21st, 2024 at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N, Cottage Grove. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You have the minutes of the October 7th meeting in your packet.
Move approval as presented.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the minutes for October 7th as presented. Any discussion on that motion?
I just really appreciate all the detail that's put in the minutes. It's refreshing to reread the experience.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Down to finance report and approval of bills.
The voided check that's handwritten on there, that is the check, it's the first or second one on the list there to Leaf Home. It's a check a refund check that was issued in 22 that they never cashed, and we finally got a hold of them and found out where we should send it after trying for a while. So we'll get that cleaned up. So that was the check from back in 2022.
Where did the horse sign go up at?
Jargo?
North and West Jargo,
That's the same thing.
around that Savior.
And she's asked for it. It's that rescue that's out there, and she asked for it and is paying for it. So there are actually two of them, right?
Mhm.
It's just,
One each direction. That way you know it's there.
Move approval of checks 37,431 and 37,450 be paid. We make EFT payments totaling $14,327.91, and checks 35,685 has been voided.
Motion by Duplay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to approve checks 37,431 through 37,450 with the EFT payment of $14,327.91 and check 35,685 from 22 is voided. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. You also have your unaudited cash and investment balance of $2,365,905.07. And you have your September financial report. Anything else?
nope.
And you want per diems by first?
Let's go with
November 1st?
Friday first, yeah.
All right, next item is public concerns. Public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Yes,
We've all driven past it a million times, but the house fire or the house that burned on North Main Street, the one that's up kind of in the woods across from where all the village stuff is.
Oh,
Like Baskin
Arby's
Robbins.
over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see it's still got windows boarded up and that kind of stuff. I mean, we've hit up every other house in the township, and granted, this one's, seems like it's more in the village and it's kind of hidden, but do we potentially need to think about doing something just for consistency purposes?
Is that in the town?
Mhm.
Which one is it, Steve?
Yes.
The White House
it's
is on
north
the
of
west side of the
the-
road,
School.
It's just next door
door
to the
to
school.
Dave Mule's old place, the
Not Dave Mule, Dave
coffee
Moore.
shop.
Dave Morrow.
Armoral.
Dave Moore, oh, by the
The
coffee shop.
school, yeah, north of there. Trees.
On N?
Yeah.
Trees hide a lot of it.
Right across from BBJ or BB Jack's, right?
Is that Boltman's house?
Yeah.
It used to be,
Yeah.
it used to be.
That's what I thought.
Anyway. Just
Or
throwing the question out there.
Refer to Jim.
Okay.
Anything else for public concerns?
Yeah, just one thing for me, we did get some information back from Melissa Agard. And remember, I brought up the debt, for the county, and it's actually 280 million that they're in debt.
All right, moving on to review the September police activities. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening. Regarding the stats, is there any questions regarding the stuff that we sent over?
We'll see speeding's quite a bit.
They never slow down.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of 80s on Gaston Road with the new
Oh,
speed
geez.
board change. So,
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of hits on 80s, 83, 81.
On Gaston Road?
63s, yeah, it's been pretty bad the last couple nights. So, but I can't be everywhere, so.
That's true.
So, some new boards are Gaston, Violets down by Gladeview, and the third one is on American Parkway.
Yeah, Way.
I've only gotten one high because I get them sent to my phone, my text message. Only got one hit from American Parkway after the move. And when was that move? A week ago.
Yeah,
Um,
one over 25.
only one over 40.
Oh,
40.
oh,
So
that's
16,
25 mile an hour road.
16
Yeah.
over, yeah.
Yeah.
Violets has been getting probably, I'd say probably a dozen, I'd say, since with the move of over 15. And then Gaston's been pretty bad, but I've been spending a lot of time out there. And when I'm out there, I don't get anything. So I'm running more
Hide
plates.
better.
I'm running more plates than
Yeah.
I'm actually getting against speeders. But.
We had a resident by Brown Trust there ask for it again out there. So
Yeah, I mean, it's proven. They're flying out there, but again, just when I'm not there, apparently that's what they're doing.
you better hide spot, right?
What's that?
It's
You
hard.
better hide
There's
spot.
not really good
No.
spot to hide out there. That's
Nothing, no trees or nothing.
no. I sit behind the construction entrance. I'll sit behind there, but at that point, it's so quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll see my light bar coming over the hill before I can even get a radar on them. Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Yeah. You see it over there?
When you slow down,
No, I am always going the speed limit.
In regards to, I guess, the future months, it's starting to become cold now, so I just urge the residents to focus on not leaving their vehicles running. It's starting to become that holiday season, so packages, make sure they're being taken in right away. Lots of those preventable crimes, so we can hopefully avoid the victimization of our community as the hands will start to rev out.
a little common sense.
So yeah, I mean, obviously don't leave your vehicle running in the driveway unless you got remote starts, things like that. So,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we're in the country per se, but you know, we still have city of Madison very close and,
in the village.
yeah, so, and a lot of stuff comes into the township of Couch Grove, whether you guys see it or not, but, Charlotte and I have been working pretty hard with some pretty bad people that have some ties here. So we're working on getting those people in custody as they have warrants now. So,
Okay.
so we're doing a lot of that stuff, trying to keep the community safe, and it's been a lot of fun, cat and mouse. But we'll get them eventually.
Well,
Okay.
how's the village? I mean, is there a crime rate in the village? Anything that's just like us, basically, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's. I mean, they have some concerns about the apartments, right? You know,
Yeah.
with apartments comes issues, but and then obviously that can spill over as well.
Yeah.
And kids are gonna be kids, so obviously the village has more homes in a congested area, so the town community around the village is going to get some of that impact as well from the kids doing kid
Mhm.
things. So the homecoming was a disastrous week for us.
Oh, no kidding.
What happened?
Just a lot of damage to property, harassment. I mean, TPing back when I was a kid, that made sense, right? But they were doing,
It washed out in the
They were-
next rain.
they were breaking people's gutters and
Really?
like, it was just nonstop with stupid stuff. So between the village and us, but Charlotte and I have been working pretty hard building that relationship with the village to make sure we can maintain that bond, because we work together, right? So as well as with Monona and the school resource officers have been working with that. So it's
Did
been,
Monona see an uptick as well?
yeah, lots actually have most of the
Really?
suspects lived in Monona. So but after we got the school resource officer involved, he made it very clear to the kids at school that there's going to be charges and whatnot. So me and Charlotte, we're not playing around. That's for sure.
That's good.
So after that, everything died down as far as the town of Cottrell goes. There was a couple incidences in the village after the school resource officer did his spiel with the students. But I mean, being a MMSD alumni myself, like West High School, I mean, we never did this feud between the juniors and seniors, and it's so weird to me that this is such an ongoing like tradition. They do these stupid things.
Why would they do it in their own community? That's what I don't understand.
It's
Just makes no
some
sense.
weird like tradition ingrained culture in that school district where these kids fight between the juniors and seniors only during this week, and they do all this stupid stuff. I mean, it came to like people shooting each other with like BB guns and like airsoft pellets and stuff like that.
Really?
It was. I'm not telling you, it was a horrible week. I wish I was on vacation that week.
Well, next year we're not gonna approve that.
I think I might have COVID that week.
They canceled homecoming for about 10 years because it got so bad.
And it's the same. It got bad last year too,
Mhm.
and
I think
there's talks about
Yeah, they're threatening that
canceling
again. I heard, yeah.
Well, the parade
Yeah.
was canceled and everything. It was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Couple
there's
years
no
ago.
homecoming, yeah.
Yeah. So needless to say, we've been pretty busy trying to keep the community safe. It's not as visible in the stats per se, but it's been a lot of time consuming things. Especially this last couple of weeks, we've been doing a lot of time consuming stuff. So, but yeah, it's been good.
And you guys are gonna keep your presence around for election?
Yes, I am off election, but Crafton and Charlotte are
Sean.
both working, and they've been in touch with Kim as well. So
Okay.
they're tracking that. So
Furnace work has all been done on your building, so it's ready for winter?
heat's turned on, so yeah, it's going good. AC's cooking too. So I personally would love to just not have the heat on ever, but I run hot, so
Yeah.
if I could have a fan on me right now, I would have it.
I hope the AC is not cooking.
No, it's not.
And the heat
I'll have my
and the
window
air-
Yeah, well, okay.
All the way down out here.
The heat and the air conditioning can't both be on.
Yeah, I wish it was just my office.
I do have one request, and that is, and I think we've talked about this before, but 12 and 18
Mhm.
toward Nora's. It
Okay.
it just feels like the flow of traffic is really fast out there. Have you ever sat out in that area and checked it?
Honestly, I just I kind of passed by it, but I've never actually sat out there.
But the non-contract deputies do that.
Okay, okay, fine.
But yeah, I can sit out there
It's fine.
and check it out.
We'll go with Chris's plan.
What was that?
Let the non-contract
Oh.
deputies sit there.
Yeah, I mean I got 3 other townships to deal with for San Juan, so it's a lot. So yeah,
Just take care of Gaston Road. That's,
Yeah.
I can't believe
it's
that.
been insane. Yeah, I've never seen those numbers, and I guess Charlotte, he's like, yeah, I've gotten 78s out there, and I'm like,
Really?
my highest speed out there is like 56. I mean, it's still fast, right? But like, I'm just by fastest speed. I'm like, is it just me? Do I smell?
All
Enough
right,
sense that you're there, right?
Yeah.
thank you.
All right. Perfect. You guys have a good night.
Keep us safe.
Appreciate it.
Next item, discuss and consider replacement of the bridge on Nat Big Road. Nick's here, and I believe Brian Rice from the county.
Yep, he was on.
Is on.
Oh, just one second. I'll be right back.
And county's gonna replace their bridge in 27.
Correct.
Their detour is 12 and 18 to 73 to BB, which leaves everybody going to want to use Nat Big Road.
Did you get any reply from them about,
Oh, Brian's on, we can ask them if they've had any discussion about maybe helping the town with upgrading Nat Big Road to keep it open during your construction?
The county typically doesn't do those. I can bring it up to, we have a new commissioner, he may have a different opinion, and I can definitely bring that up as an option. Historically, we've never done that. So that would be a change in our standard protocol, but I can
Right.
definitely bring it up.
Do you know how long you'll have end closed? What's your projection for how long that construction's going to take?
A bridge of that size, I would estimate 50 working days, so that could be up to about 3 months, depending on weather. So something of that size would probably be 3 months.
Okay. So, and you're going with a bridge. Our culvert is downstream from you. Is anyone from Jewel on?
No, I had a brief conversation. We played a little phone tag with them, but that was about it, and didn't get into any detail on that particular area. But yeah, for your culvert, because it has a span less than 20 feet, is downstream of the county end bridge. So from a gut feel, it seems like, yes, your culvert would have to be then upgraded to a bridge. And as I recall, Brian, I don't know if you recall, I believe we talked about this where the town of Cottage Grove would still fall underneath your bridge program, bridges being for 60 to 20 feet wide for 50% grant with the county, but then when it needs to then be replaced in 100 years, if it's greater than that 20 span, it would fall underneath the federal program for 80/20. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. So if you replace a current structure that's less than 20 feet, but your new structure becomes 20 feet, then it has to go into the federal inspection program, and then that opens it up for more opportunities. There's also the new 6 to 20 foot federal program that was started this year. They haven't released any long-term plans on what that looks like, if that's going to open us up to additional funding, but basically every structure 6 to 20 foot span is going to get inspected next year as part of that program, which the WISDOT is paying for 100% of those costs. Now, if that turns into another program that helps towns replace these, if that kind of gets them into the federal bridge replacement program, that program right now is 100% federal dollars, or has been for the last 2 years. So there may be opportunities coming there, but we've heard no long-term plans on if these inspections are going to lead to additional funding sources. But yes, you would be eligible for the 50% county bridge aid if you were to replace it sooner before anything rolls out from the feds or WSDOT with the 6 to 20s.
If we would do that in 26.
Yeah, I would have to check with WSDOT. I haven't heard any plans to have the 6 to 20s be some sort of federal dollars. So yeah, the county bridge aid right now is really your only option at this point. But if you waited, there might be some additional funding.
And how much was the cost for that?
I don't know. If we go to a bridge, we'll have to have that engineered.
Yeah, and I was trying to get a rough cost for just saying like, hey, if it's just barely over 20, what's a rough idea? And we didn't get a rough idea from Jewel for that because as I talked to Chris, bridges are out of our expertise, but we have partnered with Jewel in the past, and I know they might have done some work in the town as well. So it'd be something where we would be hands off and Jewel would be working directly with the town on, but I'll push them on a rough price as well. And then they indicated briefly that, you know, once you say go and start the process, it could be from design, surveying it, constructing it, and completing it 18-month process from start to finish.
And is all that part of the 50/50?
Yeah,
Design and everything?
yeah, that's how it's been in the past with Dane County, where they have had the 50-50% or that 50-50 for engineering and construction. And Brian, you can chime in if there's any additional nuggets you want to chime in, but that's how it's been done in the past, and I don't see it changing unless, Brian, you've heard rumblings on your side where it might only be construction only in the next 2 years or anything.
I don't think there's any plan to change it. So yes, design and construction are both 50% paid for.
Okay.
18 months is kind of cutting it close, isn't it?
Well, we've got next year and
That's it.
to decide. So
give me this one again, though. The bridge on N, we're gonna pay 50%?
No.
No, you're talking about the
that-
culvert, right?
I'm just talking that big
Downstream.
road.
Oh, Natpig, okay.
Yeah, that culvert that we have there now,
Okay.
it's only what, 16 feet wide
Yeah, the 19 feet span, yeah.
on a 19-foot span. So
It's a box culvert, concrete.
it's got the cement end walls
Yep.
or railing.
Yeah, it's cement parapet, yep.
Concrete?
Yeah.
Yeah, concrete, sorry.
So
Chief,
I'm-
you want that open, right?
Would have to be
Well,
open for them.
I think the discussion was
Emergency service.
not to have both
I mean, that
bridges be
could
under
be anything
construction
else
at the
like
same time.
Except local people. You know what I mean? I don't know how you'd stop people, but
Well, you could do your construction in 27 at the same time you're
You
doing
could.
construction
well, you
on
could, yeah.
N. But that doesn't help emergency services going south into Pleasant Springs or the township.
You can restrict large trucks, but cars and
Yeah.
stuff, you wouldn't be able to.
No.
And I forget whether it was through email or an open session, but there's the ability to set a temporary speed limit during construction as well.
Yeah.
And that would have been a good topic for Eric to stay here for. But
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
up
was.
to these guys if they want to set.
Yeah. But I think that response, I don't remember if I heard it in a meeting or if I read it in an email. I think it might have been email from
We
John.
talked about temporary weight restrictions, but I don't recall any mention of temporary speed limits.
So in a cause of emergency, you guys the board would have the right to do weight and speed.
And speed.
Yeah.
Great, 15 miles an hour. And maybe they'll do 40.
Yeah, they
It's
would.
45 now, just so you know.
No, I'm saying if we posted it for 50.
Yeah, I'm just
they might
saying,
drive it
I'm
40.
just saying that's the speed limit on it now is 45.
Will that be as big as the bridge that was just rebuilt on VV, or will it be smaller than that? On the township line?
The one on N?
On BB at the
BB
township
one, the
line
county.
by Badger Farms.
Oh, the culvert they just put in out there?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because that would give you a guesstimate. of
They'd have
what
to
the
do
cost was.
design and figure out what sizes would need to be. That's a pretty good size one.
It would be wider than what's there for 16. It would definitely be wider. than
Wider
what's
for
there.
sure, yeah.
But the road bed won't be.
Not unless we decide
we upgrade
Well,
to.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the bridge is
Why-
about, the
why
bridge is
worry
about
about it now?
16 and the road's 18, so it actually narrows to the culvert now, so.
Seems to me that that's something we'd want to do either earlier or later, one of the two.
is widen the roadway.
No.
That's a long process.
And the bridge, if it has to be done,
That'll take longer than the bridge.
it's either, probably we can't do it
It's rebuilding the road.
before, but probably after, because the speed limit's gonna be low anyway
Well,
on their, and their load limit, so.
if I was going to do it, I'd want to do it before they do end.
I think that would be, if we have the money to do it, I think that'd be the right, one of the two, but not during.
No.
Because I assume fire felt the same way in police.
Yeah.
They want the
They don't
access
want
to
them
go
both
south.
Closed at the same time.
Because people will be using Natvig Road and or Vilas Road, and Vilas they have to cross 12 and 18.
They're never gonna,
It depends, and they're gonna be using
Vilas
probably,
will
but
be
and then
used.
people coming from the east are gonna be coming through on
Nora.
Nora or whatever. I mean, it's gonna affect a lot of different roads for people who know their way around.
Yeah.
I thought everybody's gonna go up to Deerfield.
It'd be a 7-3.
You can lead the way.
That'll probably be the way the DOT will
It
reroute
is.
it.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's not the way that most people
They're not
locally
gonna,
drive it.
people that know the area aren't gonna use it.
No.
Well, that's something to talk about.
And I assume we can't use the engineering that the county used on N to just move it to Natvig.
I wouldn't think it'd be
He's
that-
laughing. I'm assuming that's a no.
Could we?
That's a question where, again, we're getting into the bridge side of things where for all the waterways looked at and also, yeah, the water flow in that area, it opens up a can of worms doing something like that.
It definitely narrows as it gets to Nadvig. I noticed today, I was out there mowing today. The creek's a lot wider, Little Door Creek's a little wider at end than is at Nadvig.
So I'm hearing we want to keep it open. We want to limit it as much as we can to local traffic. So then do we want to work on either the culvert or the bridge replacement for sometime in 26, the year before they do,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that emergency services can use that as,
Emergency.
well, it'll become known that, and everybody and their brother will be
Would we
using it.
widen that big road then
Well,
and redo the whole road? Cause that's a big job.
well, we could ask him if he wants to, if we want them to quote us something on that
Turn lanes.
as to what that would
Update
cost.
that.
Cause you're gonna have to crush that road out and then base it and asphalt it.
That's gonna be
Right.
just.
That's bigger than just asphalt.
Widened and
Yeah.
But the road is already wider than the bridge, right? So if you made an 18-foot wide bridge to match the road, you'd have an improvement.
You would never do that though.
What's that idea?
They wouldn't allow an 18-foot wide bridge anymore.
Oh,
Nice.
oh,
Really?
okay. What,
Cause
so,
what was, these were, those ones are brought up to, was it 30 feet, right? I think if I'm right, and up off are both 30 foot in the road and up off's only 24.
Yeah.
It widens to the bridge from the road. They don't allow that narrow anymore.
So would you want me to reach out to Jewel and get a price from them to determine, is it a bridge or is it a culvert that we put in there?
Yeah, I think our option is to do it way before that they replace that. So I would,
And see if they can get that to us.
Yeah, I would think a culvert there would be cheapest in is good for a lot less money.
Yeah, there will have to be a
Bridges
study.
on either, there are bridges on either side of it otherwise.
Yeah, they would have to complete a study to look at that. Jewel would, to make the determination of what the size should be for that particular roadway.
Then do you want to consider widening and redoing the road?
I would think so. If we're gonna do the bridge, you gotta,
So
Pretty
if
much
they
through the
set
road.
it as a culvert, does that can that be narrower, stay narrower than 30 feet? Or if it could stay as a culvert? So wouldn't you want to know that first? If a culvert could work, then why would you build the whole road out?
There's not that much traffic on that road,
yeah, that's,
except for gonna be during the construction on end.
Right.
And I don't know that I would wanna spend money to redo that whole road when there's realistically,
I mean,
very
we have
little
road
traffic.
issues everywhere.
Get
So I would
40
not
cars
want
a
to
day
spend that
normally.
money on
Yeah.
that road. If we wouldn't have.
I would say at most 40 cars a day on that road.
But if Jewel did a study and told you that it's just a culvert or a bridge, that would tell you if you should consider widening the road, right?
Or if they did make whatever it's gonna be, a bridge or a culvert wider, we just widen the road out to meet the bridge and
Yeah,
then
they
come
just
back
taper it. Yep.
at some future point in time to
yeah. that
do
can
the
be done.
road if we
Yeah.
need to. That's,
That too.
That was shrewd, Steve.
Huh?
That was shrewd. Good answer.
So what's your pleasure that we
contact
Find
Jewel
out what
and have-
they think should be put there,
Yeah,
and then we go from there. Yes.
and see how fast they can get us something, and then we'll
Decided again.
Just like-
decide about it and the road after we hear from
Just
them.
like what Dan said, there's like probably 40 cars there.
No, we used
Rarely at all,
spares.
you know, so.
So are you gonna ask them to do the study, or are you gonna ask them for a price for the study?
Both.
Okay.
You gotta pay him?
I imagine.
I can get you a contact over there, Chris. I can get you a contact over there. I can send you one.
Okay. Send me his name and phone number.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian, for listening.
For having me.
It's still there.
I think he was.
Okay. So as soon as we get something, I'll put it back on the agenda.
sure.
Next is discuss and consider quotes for landline phone service.
Thanks.
So you guys saw a couple of options that I looked into. I sent you the quotes for those. We're paying way too much currently. I guess that's the main thing I take out of it.
Thanks for gathering all this information. So we have choices.
And I have talked to Eric about it a little bit, because if you did decide to go with the Host My SIP option, it would use, the EMS lines could also come on board with that, and it would use the internet that is at the station, which we already pay our share of the fire departments, and we pay emergency government. We pay a third of the internet, and then EMS pays the other third, so.
Thanks, Nick.
Have a good night.
What's your idea?
I mean, if it was up to me, of these two options, I would probably go with the Host My SIP, just because the price is, for all practical purposes, the same as TDS. We're not gonna have to argue with them every year or whatever over trying to get it down to the promotional price again.
I was shaking my head if you didn't see.
Yeah, because they have TDS, he knows, you have to call him and talk him down every year. I have to do that with our internet every year for here in Flint Hall, and, Flint Hall, I have it, I talked him down a little lower than the town hall, so I mean, it's not a given how far they're even gonna go for you. But the other thing is just that this Host My SIP recommendation came from Matthew at Pyramid, who manages our whole phone system over there. And they have others using this well, so I'm not afraid of it, I guess. It's kind of a name you haven't probably heard of before, but it's basically phone over the internet. And like my first concern, and I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, was if the internet goes down, now you don't have internet and you don't have phones, but there is this fail-safe that would forward the phone forward to a cell phone. And so, you know, if the town hall was down, it would call my cell phone. If EMS was down, it could call Eric. If the garage was down, it could call Dan. So there's ways to get, which, you know, there might be other times where the phones would be down with TDS and we wouldn't have anything like that happening. So I kind of like that idea too. But there is a little bit of an upfront charge to get that all up and running. And so I think you're still going to make up the difference pretty quick compared to what you're paying for phones right now.
So are we throwing TDS out right away?
Well, that's up to you guys.
I
But
would vote that.
You're saying ditch TDS, okay?
Yeah.
TDS looks very attractive on the front end, but the effort you have to put in on the back end is ridiculous to finally get down to a reasonable price.
So then you have FirstNet and,
FirstNet is the cell phone.
The cell phone.
yeah.
So as far as
SIP.
landlines, you're just looking at the Host My SIP and TDS unless you want me to try to find any other options.
And Pyramid's the one that recommended this SIP.
Yes.
And it's only
So they gave,
184.
we currently, if you count EMS, between all our town lines and all the lines over at the Emergency Services Building, there are 7 lines right now. He has a proposal that's just 7 lines that would be $144.50 a month. But he also threw in one that adds 2 additional lines, which he suggested could be additional call tracks so that people don't get busy signals if we're on the phone, or like like court and the town office share the same phone line. So if she's on the phone, nobody can get through to us. If we're on the phone, nobody can get through to her.
Yeah.
You know, it gives a couple more talk paths, but it's another $40 a month. So that would be not a necessary thing, just something that he threw in there. And I think Eric might have some.
Yeah, we've been looking for ways to fine tune our operations with regard to the on-duty OIC, which would mean that everyone, when looking for an OIC, would call into the main business line and then would be redirected to the call tree. When it's redirected to the call tree, it picks up a second line. So we would want to avoid, if I don't envision it's going to happen often, but that we would pick up a second line and potentially it's one of the lines that they would be using, because that's kind of the way the system works right now. But to add into the 9 lines and to have 2 extra would, I think, for both of us, provide some additional operational efficiency, and the cost is relatively nominal. And remember, with that 189, that includes 2 lines that we kind of would be paying for. I mean, we would actually be paying for them, just that there's.
You're talking about the My SIP, right?
Yeah, no, we're not even talking about TDS anymore. Forget that those 3 letters even existed.
So then instead of EMS having their own phone bill with TDS every month, I would bill them for their phone lines, and then the other lines that the fire department or the village helps pay for, the fire department lines, I would bill them for their share just like I do now.
Yeah, and I'd contend, and Kim was kind of knee deep in all this stuff, that why don't we just go with the model of don't pay us for the internet, we won't pay you for the phone line, and then it should effectively be equal.
Yeah.
And then Kim doesn't have to do any effort to try to transfer monies and whatnot.
Yeah. So we did.
And we know that there might be some portion of this, depending upon how much internet the phones use, we might need to upgrade. In my mind, that's our cost of doing business.
What was I gonna say? I lost it.
And I'll be honest, I haven't had any loss of TDS internet.
Yeah, we
I
haven't,
haven't experienced any. If there has, it's not been while I've been in the office.
we haven't either.
So you'd be all right with the zip?
Absolutely.
Oh, I guess I was gonna say, we did put it on the fire commission agenda, just because the fire commission should know that we're gonna change the phone provider, so
Yeah.
I did give them both options, expecting that you on the fire commission on Thursday night can report to them what the board said and just kind of have them bless that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What did you look at savings
Did,
from what we're using now? What, did you look at that at all?
Yeah, did you see the email I sent out?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I did.
Substantial, like, we're paying about
Hundreds.
$600 or $700 or $800 a month. Now, it's crazy what we're paying, yeah, through Frontier. And we're paying long distance fees, you know, if there's any long distance calls, and there are more and more of those because so many people move to the area with their phone
With their cell
numbers,
phones?
and then that's all long distance.
Yeah.
So, I just should have printed that email. I figured that all out for you guys, but it was substantial.
It was
I mean, like,
hundreds monthly.
yeah, well, yeah, and thousands in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pyramid Telephone Security, what, they just did an estimate for you? Who to
Well,
use?
So I contacted Matthew, who is the person I work with at Pyramid anytime there's something with the phone system hardware that we need to deal with. And I wanted, because first I was just thinking about TDS, because I know they're a lot cheaper than Frontier. And I wanted to make sure that there was nothing about TDS that was incompatible with our phone system. And he said, no, that's fine. But then he came back with, but here's another option you might consider. And so,
When he has taxes and fees, we don't pay taxes.
no, we
It's
do
just a
pay some
comment he's
taxes.
putting down there.
We do, if you look at the phone bills, they like there's some federal excise
Oh.
taxes and things like that.
Forestry or some crap and,
Yeah,
We have to pay the 911 service charge.
yeah, there we go, yeah.
there's some stuff that we can't get out of.
Right.
They always get their hands in that.
So they're probably, it'll probably be slightly more than what he quoted because we don't get away from all the taxes. But it's still significant.
And my guess would be that it would allow more of us to have voice over IP phones. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I have right now, and it converts my voicemails into an email. So when
Ours do that.
okay, so I mean, that's additional bonuses of having a completely,
But it does allow some of the functionality of our phone system to work that we can't use now. And so Matthew would be able to advise some of those things too. Yeah.
So what do we need to do then? So it's $144 and then non-recurring, that's the first, just one fee,
So there's a
non-recurring.
Installation charge and the line number, or in charge per number.
and I'd speak for myself that having the 2 extra lines, so the 189 fee would be the one that I would select,
184.
Yeah.
or whatever it is, as opposed to the 144.
So that's 184, and then there's a total of $106 of non-recurring charges to get it up and running. That's just at your first page there.
I would make a motion to do that.
The zip 184 would
Can you
be
write that down properly? Do that,
106.
yeah,
I must have done that.
180, what was it?
184.30 plus 106.
Yeah.
I'll second that. motion.
184.
Motion by
50.
Bonner, second by Williams to approve the host my zip for $184.50, non-recurring charge of $106 for the 9 lines. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
So then, I guess the other question is though, do you want to accept Eric's offer that they'll just continue to pay for their third of the internet and we'll pay for their phone lines? We won't bill them.
Yeah,
And then we'll just keep.
you okay with that?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I will continue to bill the village for their share of the fire line.
Fire.
Yeah, which is not much, but.
All
And I
right,
guess if you wanted, like, to include whatever the third of the internet would be on your portion, but not pay us to the village, because doesn't the village pay part of fire's internet?
Yeah, But that's all split by the current ratio and changes every year and.
Okay, well then, forget I said anything.
With a little bit of it, it doesn't.
Already did.
So then if you guys vote that are on the fire commission, will report that that's what
We
you guys
recommend.
decided, and hopefully they'll go along with that. And then we can get it going, and hopefully we can get it going yet this year and save some money this year too,
Right.
so.
Now, does this, no, item D then, we still have to discuss that, or?
D, that
D
include-
is,
That's
we're
a-
done with.
No,
Okay.
C you're done with, D is another issue.
Yeah,
I thought it was included in the.
no.
No, this is the
D
three phones we have,
is
emergency government and the
discuss
fourth
and
phone,
Consider,
or
Ju-
this
So.
cell phone thing.
The cell phone thing, okay, so it started with, I was hoping to get a cell phone for me so that I don't have to keep using my personal phone for all these verification apps for the elections commission and everybody else that wants to know how to get a hold of me. So I sat down with the FirstNet representative and he brought up the fact that all the smartphones that we currently have, which is the 3 deputies and Dan, are all eligible for upgrades. And the upgrades would cost $10 each, but each one has a $180 buyback credit. So we end up with a pretty decent credit that would practically pay for my phone, and my phone is 99 cents new to buy
Right.
it. And then we've got a pretty good credit to cover most of next year, really, except for the fact that we probably have to buy cases for all those phones, because of course they never fit the ones that you were using. So that was what I sent you about that. And that's more or less what he wrote in that email that I asked him for from that FirstNet guy. So upgrading our existing 4
the
iPhones.
4 existing and add the 1 smart.
Yep,
Oh, they're all smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the emergency phone, government phones, because they're not smart. So they would just stay as they are.
Yeah.
I would move approval.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to accept the FirstNet quote for upgrading the 4 iPhones that be in existence and adding a smartphone and line for the clerk. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Next item, discuss and consider approval of quote to replace speed board batteries. 700, you only need 1?
There's 4 batteries. It's $828.98. So the quantity 1
Oh, is for
would be
the
2. It'd be 2
two
charge
chargers
Yeah, 2 charge
and
packs,
4 batteries.
4 batteries. Yep. It's a bundle deal. Yeah, kit. I just wanted batteries. He's like, oh, you don't want to do that. It's gonna cost you way more. And then they actually gave us a 50% discount too.
Yeah,
So
see that.
Yeah,
I'd move approval.
Second.
$820.
$20.98.
Motion by Anders, second by Fonger to approve the All Traffic Solutions quote for 4 batteries and 2 chargers for $820.98. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We have to find an account to take it from.
I have been using your signs account for the,
that's probably tapped though.
yeah.
I mean, I guess we could go over.
I mean, as long as your whole budget isn't over.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the sign
That's what I've
budget's
been
tapped.
using as the signs account.
Okay. All right. Next item, discuss and consider approval of purchase of water bottle filler for the town garage.
I gave you just 2 different examples, like the cheaper one is just that cabinet. There's no refrigeration, no filter, nothing like that. Basically, all just allows you to fill your bottle. But the filter things are really cheap at Menards, so we can put an inline filter in it for like $35. That's actually really cheap, so I mean, that's what that is. And then the other one is basically like a water fountain, but it's just a bottle filler. So it has the refrigeration and it has the filter.
It'd be like this one, more or less.
Yeah, without the water fountain
Oh,
deal.
that's right.
It's just a bottle filler. So it only sticks out from the wall like 6 inches versus like that one.
Is one of them refrigerated and the other one isn't?
The more expensive one is refrigerated and has a filter.
Now, which one is that on your 930?
It should be 1,000 something on there.
Front page.
So, so
I don't know, I think you might be missing that. I only have one.
yeah, I do too.
Nothing to the other one.
Printed two, I gave you two.
I know. And I gave them 2 to put in the packets, and I'm not sure what happened here.
And the other one's just, like, basically, if you look at that sheet, the other one's just the top part.
For 9/13/30.
It's for it's actually 836.83 today. Changes price like almost every day.
So for $200, you get refrigeration
And a filter, yeah.
I would say.
That's still 913 seems to be.
Well, it's 1146 for the refrigerated one.
Oh,
You gotta look in the front sheet there, Mike. That's
I
the
saw
one
this.
there.
Well, this says 1,234.
Yeah, like I said, they change price every day. That's when I printed it off. That's what it was. Now
What do you
it's-
actually need?
Now it's 1146. I mean, refrigeration and filter would be nice,
Why not?
honestly, but like, I mean, yeah, it's totally, it's $400.
Does your garage budget have $400?
I'm sure the maintenance does.
This one?
No, it's this one. This one is on sale now.
Well, it's,
Instead
yeah,
of being
the
1,
price
2, 3,
changes like
4,
every day.
it's 11.
Okay.
I actually, here, let me bring this up. I actually have both on here.
I don't know what happened.
This is actually my cart right there. Cause I look at Menards and I look at Amazon, and Amazons are actually cheaper. And then like Granger has the same ones, but with our discount, it's still about $100 more at Granger, so that's why I was just going with Amazon, but I called in there and got prices on theirs, but
LZ8W triple SMC,
Okay, and it's
1147.
yeah.
So the 836 one, that is refrigerated, but
No,
only does.
no
No
refrigeration,
Yeah.
no nothing.
Okay, so then,
You could add a filter.
He's gonna get all the lead out of his pipes
yeah.
from all that solder and everything.
and that's from
We would put a filter in it.
Menards?
No, these are all Amazon.
Amazon.
That's the cheapest prices I found.
I would,
Granger and Menards were a little more expensive.
So that's.
They're building-
moves to approve the
fall under building
1146.
maintenance, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's nicer, yeah. I mean,
And then
You said you can
buy
get filters?
replacement filters.
Yeah.
Here.
yep, yeah, just like we do for the one in the hallway here.
Thank you.
You gonna call that equipment repairs and maintenance?
Yeah, we'll put it on building maintenance.
I'd move approval for the LK Model 8, correction, LZ8W SSSMC refrigerated filtered drinking fountain / bottle filler.
No, bottle fill, not a
Oh,
drinking
wait.
fountain.
It's just the bottle filler.
It's just a
Just
bottle.
a bottle.
just a bottle filler.
Auto fill?
I think it says that on there, but it's just the bottle filler. I don't know
Okay.
why I printed off
Strike
like
the
that.
drinking fountain then.
Okay.
It does
Well-
say drinking on there, doesn't it?
Second,
Oh, no.
With a glass, you can drink out of it anyway, just with a glass.
It's just a bottle filler.
Yeah.
Motion by Anders, second by Williams to approve the LK model LZ8WSSSMC
It just starts sharing my screen.
refrigerated surface mount bottle filling station filter, 8 gallons per.
No, 8-gallon capacity is refrigerated.
Stainless steel for $1,148, and you're gonna take that out of equipment repair and maintenance?
Yeah, the shop maintenance one, yeah.
Out of highway, yeah.
Yep.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider quote to replace furnace at the town garage.
Quotes on that, so they both came, no one submitted a quote, or nobody's emailed me with a quote yet. So, High Tech came right away because they were out here, so she had a lot of measurements and stuff. She said she'd get something to me that day and I never got anything.
You want it on next week?
Yeah, we're gonna have to table
Next
it because
agenda.
nobody sent me anything back and, actually Wohlers just came out Friday morning,
We'll put it on the next agenda.
so. I got nothing for that one yet.
Next item, discuss and consider plans to fill upcoming court clerk vacancy.
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's up to the judge to hire and fire.
So, yeah, it's the judge's responsibility by statute to set the hours and the job duties and do the hiring and firing. I haven't heard back from him. He hasn't gotten back to me. Danielle says she doesn't expect he's really gonna care. But he's very busy and very hard to get a hold of, and that's just how that is. But,
Is what I had her offer him was he can do it or he can ask us to do it for him.
as far as the hiring and everything, yeah, and I contacted him, or I emailed him last week, I emailed him again this morning and hope to get a hold of him before the meeting, but I haven't heard anything, so. But anyway, so I did give him, you can take one of each of these, I did give him the job description and the ad that we used last time, just so he could polish them up if he wants to, but this is what we had. So the thing is with this job that Danielle took it in 21, the prior court clerk was working like full office hours. Danielle is really, really efficient and she works probably less than 10 hours a week most weeks, which makes it a really tough job, I think, to fill. I will say that in the office, it's been difficult at times because she isn't in when the office is open, and around court, there's a lot of people coming in to pay tickets, which we have no information about. We did recently get her to give us some, like, who they are and what they owe information, and if we can keep that updated, at least that helps some. But we would really like it in the office if that person, and this is what I was hoping to talk to David about, if that person could spend those 10 hours during our office hours, and have it be a set time, so we could say, oh, the court clerk is in from 9 to noon, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that, because prior to that, that was in there, they needed to be here during our office hours, but because Danielle is so efficient, she wasn't gonna sit here during our office hours and do nothing either, so it's kind of evolved into that. I don't know if we'll ever find anybody as good at it as Danielle again, but that won't need more time. They definitely will to get started. She has offered to stick around until we get somebody in here and she can get them up to speed, but she would like to be done before the winter holidays, so.
Jeez, well,
yeah.
you're gonna stick around then for.
So we really need to find out, I really need to get a hold of the judge and find out what he wants to do. But then I also need to know like what you guys, who from you guys wants to be involved, I guess. And if you see any other changes as far as compensation goes, I guess, she's currently what she's currently making, or if you want to start lower, or what you want to do.
I can be involved, but
What is she making?
26.
What is the possibility that Amber or Jen would consider?
I did ask that, and they are not interested.
Oh.
They did think it over hard, both of them, but and ultimately they both decided that it wasn't something they wanted to do at this point.
But you have to be there for the court when it's open and everything, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have to
that
do
one
it.
night of
That's the
lunch.
problem, I think, actually with her, I would think.
That's not what
It's not that big a
Danielle's
deal.
Danielle's having problem. Danielle came from, she moved here from New Hampshire. She's got
Yep.
family, all her family is New Hampshire. She's had lots of things that she's had to go back for. So I think, and because the hours are not what she expected, she's got other irons in the fire now too, that they're just making it seem like maybe she doesn't need to do this anymore. So,
So we're waiting to hear from the judge.
right, but on the other hand, Danielle doesn't think he's gonna have a lot to say. So I guess if some of you, I think Danielle should sit in on the interviews because she is the only one that knows what she does. And, but not necessarily wouldn't be a decision maker, just be there as a resource, and she's willing to do that. And then I think the judge should be there, but that's up to him. So I guess the thing is, who from here wants to be involved, I know. And,
Kim, I mean, honest to gosh, you are the one, you and your folks are gonna be the one who's gonna be working with the new incumbent when they start. It would be nice that it's not gonna be an instantaneous oil and water type personality situation.
I mean, we're not in the same office. She's back here now.
No, what I'm just saying is, I mean, if somebody comes up crabby, all the time or is difficult or whatever, that makes the interaction and quite frankly, the way you pick them, I mean, you're batting 1,000 with all the folks. I mean, with all the folks that have hired that have worked for you and with you,
Yeah,
you've never gotten a bad one.
no.
And so, like the old saying goes, why mess with success? And that's a motion.
So,
If
Have who? Just Kim?
Kim, just the clerk
And the judge.
and the
Danielle.
judge.
If the
Nobody from the
judge
board.
wants to do it.
It works for me.
Motion by Anders. Is there a second? Second by Fonger. Have Kim, the current court clerk, and the judge do the interviews.
Now, before,
And then the judge will hire.
yes.
correct.
Yeah.
Now, you gotta say, is there a discussion?
Is there discussion on the motion?
Yeah, just a question. What happens if we can't get the judge to get his, I would feel personally comfortable if it was just the clerk and the clerk doing the,
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I'm with
that's
that.
gonna be up to him, and he's gonna have
Correct,
to
but
make
that's
that
what I'm
decision.
saying
And I
is-
guess we can offer that, I could always offer that Christie or Mike have offered if he wants another person in and he can't do it himself, that there are other board members who have offered to help, but we think that it's his hire.
I agree.
I agree.
I would make him that offer.
Yeah,
If he
But-
can't, he needs to.
but
Ask
what I
for-
really wanna figure out, I mean, I wanna get something out, and as far as putting it out there, so, I mean, I don't think there's any sense putting this out far and wide on Indeed.com and all those places, because it's such a tiny job.
Yeah.
I think that, we'll kind of use the same structure as we used before. We gotta think about how many hours we think it is. And then, I use, like we did when I've hired, some of the social media groups are the best ones. Like Jen and Amber are both on that moms and dads group. I'm too old, I'm a grandma, but they're all on that moms and dads group. And that seems to be a good one because that's, moms that have kids in school and that kind of thing. So that one I think is good. And any of the other local groups that we can think of. I don't know what other that avenues, I mean, that's all basically Facebook. I don't know what other avenues there might be, but to go advertise for, 10 to 15 at the most hours a week and go outside of the community, I'm not sure it really is the best chance of finding the right person. At least not unless we really can't find anybody local. So,
Go for it.
Sounds good.
Can I amend my motion?
We haven't done anything yet, so yes.
I would like to put Christy Williams as the on-deck person in the event.
Alternate of the judge.
Correct.
Sure.
Okay.
and I'll advertise this, I'll put this out as soon as possible here, as soon as I can talk to the judge.
And you'll have Danielle look, see if we need to make any changes to
Yeah,
this.
and the judge has it too, so, yes,
All right, any more discussion on that motion that everyone understands now?
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is discuss and consider rescheduling the November 4th town board meeting, which is the night before election, and the clerk doesn't want to work that night.
Well, we talked about it once before,
And
and
I
and
don't
it's
think we
not even
should.
that so much as if the plan commission does what I think they're gonna do, it's gonna mean you're gonna have Kennedy Hill's preliminary plat on that meeting, and that could bring in people. Maybe they'll have come to enough meetings by then and they won't come to this one, but we're not gonna have room for them if they do.
Yeah.
So I
So-
guess that's the big thing.
Do we want to meet on the 6th, the
Or the
Wednesday,
Or the 7th?
or the 7th?
Give Kim a,
I'm not worried about, I'll deal with that, whenever it works best for everybody. Let me look and see.
I have a conflict on the 7th, and the 6th I have MPO. Would you all consider, I could come here and meet for half an hour with MPO and then sign off and join the
MPO,
Metropolitan Planning Organization
Now,
that.
don't use abbreviations around here. Okay? Don't be a big shot.
Don't show off.
Right?
So we could do the
See, we know
6th.
Sure.
abbreviations.
Sure.
Well, or I mean, you could also, I don't know if you wanna think about going that far, but you could go split the difference somehow and do the next Monday too, but the 6th is okay for this room. There's nobody in here then.
Yeah, we could do a Monday, that's probably easier. People
I don't know.
wouldn't realize a Monday, because that's when we normally meet,
But
so.
then you're gonna meet right away the next Monday again, although that's,
doesn't bother me any.
No, me either.
It's Veterans Day.
Either
Yeah.
one.
Either one.
Yeah, good
No, I'm
point.
just saying it's,
I guess I prefer doing it on the 6th.
That's fine.
Okay,
Sure.
6th, okay?
6th it
We'll
is.
do the board on the 6th. I'll make a motion that we reschedule the November 4th town board meeting to Wednesday, the November 6th. Is there a second? Second by
Second.
Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public Works Department activity update.
One exciting news, we got our truck this year, our 550. That came in last week, so got that back and in service. Now we're cleaning up the old one to get ready to sell it.
Are we gonna sell it here or Wisconsin surplus?
Wisconsin surplus, I figured, right? And we talked about putting a 20,000 reserve on that one. I think that's what I remember from the meeting
So
correctly.
you'll have the truck and the plow
Yeah, it's a truck and a plow, yeah.
and broom.
And, well, I'm gonna put some other items on there for sale too, yeah, that we have that didn't sell before. I need to get sold at that room. But
what does the broom fit?
3-point
Tractor.
tractor. That's why it didn't sell last time.
Hard to sell.
But yeah, that's one thing. Well, with mowing, we got fall ditch mowing going on. Getting that all looking good for the winter, and then parks are dwindling down, so we're starting to do truck maintenance and stuff like that.
Shouldering all done?
Shouldering's done, patching's done.
Did Madison ever cut out by the solar panels?
They paid somebody to mow part of it, but they didn't mow all of it.
Jesus.
It looked like it was some of it was been mowed.
Yeah, it looked like, I don't know if Gaussman's rented the farm fields there.
I don't know.
But it looks like they mowed around where the fields were that they picked, but that was about it. And somebody with a small tractor has been mowing that corner. I don't know if that's the solar company or who that is.
I have no idea.
So it's their property, well, the county's property, but
It looks better.
City of Madison's responsibility. I've notified him a couple times, so.
Well, I did too.
I know it was tough getting an arborist out there to cut that tree down that day that fell in the road. We pushed it off the road for him, but then I called and told him it was there to clean up. It sat there for 2 weeks before they got to it. I think they have full-time arborists every day. Pretty sure. Same Masson does. But yeah, other than that, business as usual. Go ahead.
Shouldering's all done.
Yep.
Clerk treasurer office update.
In-person absentee voting starts tomorrow.
Yeehaw.
We've been pretty busy with absentees. We're well over 500 now.
You're both Amber and Jen working?
Tomorrow they will be. No, it's tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Wednesday. They overlap on Wednesday. I have been having them overlap.
Maybe for the in-person voting, early
Yeah,
voting.
I'll be here. There'll be two of us here,
Okay.
But you can still come in and vote here, right?
starting tomorrow.
And
Sure.
you just walk in and ask you to vote, and you give them a
With it just.
Show your
with the
information.
photo
Yep.
ID. Yep,
photo ID, and then you can give them a card to vote.
that
And turn
starts,
it back into you.
Yep.
Okay.
that starts tomorrow. So anyway, there's plenty to do in here between that and getting ready for the budget and getting ready for taxes and hiring the court clerk. We are not short of things to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's going good.
When are you testing or have you already done that?
No, that'll be next Monday at 2:00. I'll be posting that in the next couple days here. It is already posted, but I'll be putting out a news and notice about it.
28th
Yeah,
at 1 o'clock?
2:00.
2 o'clock.
That it?
Mhm.
Board reports and communications. I had a request from an individual that would like to put a flagpole with a flag and a solar light up to shine on it down by the old grader in memory of Orville Fredenberg.
Oh, interesting.
And wondering if we would allow it and do it or
Yeah, the only thing you lights, even on a flagpole now, should be going down at the flag, and there is lights you can buy, solar ones to put on top of that thing, rather than putting one that shines up. We have one on our flagpole. So,
I'm not opposed to.
I'm not either.
no, I
it's a
think
nice idea.
that's good. But I think they should look into getting one that's on the top, shining down on the flag.
Where did you get yours?
I got it at the
Menards.
Coliseum when they had a big show down there.
Oh,
But this is about 6 years ago, so. But I would presume that you can buy them. So I'm sure if you look up on the internet, you can find one, I'm sure.
okay, but
They'll go about 4 years.
Where you would normally have the eagle, you'd take that off and it would sit in there and
Goes below the eagle. Well, you wouldn't have an eagle on that.
Oh,
You'd have a truck up there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. Have a what?
Truck.
A truck?
Yeah, that's what that ball's called.
Yeah, that's what it is?
Yep,
Yep, truck.
truck.
Yes, you have a ball on top of it. You put that on there and then you screw the ball
Screw
in.
it.
Yeah.
Amazon's got a bunch of them.
Do they? I was right.
I got a bunch of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that's-
the question is then, would we allow our guys to install it and we would probably have to buy a bag of sackcrete?
How tall is this gonna be?
I think you need more than one
Well,
bag.
I think it will go up to 20 feet. I don't know that we can put one up that high because there are wires.
No,
We're gonna put it in with the grader in that area.
Pardon?
You're gonna put it in with the grader there.
Yeah, I think in the stone.
I think because that power pole is right at the end of it, I think if we keep it the one way, we'll be fine, won't we?
Well, you can
Okay.
look and see if 20 feet's too tall or if you go 16 or.
Yeah.
and who wants to put it there? Who is it? Oh, you can't tell me? You?
It's
No,
top
it's not
secret.
me.
It's secret about a flagpole.
Concerned
Is
citizens.
that American? I don't know. Okay, well, that's,
I suppose in the future, we would have to pay for a new flag as it wears out, but we buy flags anyway.
I got tons of 3.35 full, 3 and by 5.
So do I.
I got
Okay.
20 of them at least. American Legion, we can do that
Okay,
if needed, you know.
all right. Committee reports, Deer Grove EMS Commission.
We met in Deerfield last week. We have had some busy days, i.e. we had a day with both ambulances out on a call, and then we had another call come in. Fortunately, we had 2 full-time ambulances that were available, but we didn't have 3.
It happens sometimes.
And the backup was Cambridge, and they didn't respond, so it went to Sun Prairie. So that's,
They didn't respond.
For mutual aid.
Yeah, but so they didn't respond. That's a little unique.
Very.
You look like the emperor sitting there. Don't screw up.
It's our genie.
I'm with you.
And this is,
Okay.
and this is the organization that wants to become, yeah,
Partners.
Part of us.
are we them?
No.
No.
No news.
anyway, we don't.
Yeah,
have a
don't
lot
forget,
of
we'll have to,
others.
paying for IT help and for secretarial help and all those other fees that, I don't know, maybe even part of the mayor's wages. I'm being facetious, but
We have to hire an attorney to work full time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sarcasm. Please take that as sarcasm.
yes.
The more I think about it, the more upset I get.
I'm
quite
trying to
honestly.
remember what else. It's,
Yeah, we had staff report.
Everybody approved the maintenance.
Yes.
And Village of Kitros hasn't approved the budget yet, but it's scheduled for their.
Early December meeting
It goes in front of the village board next week.
next week.
And then they schedule it for a public hearing, then it gets approved late November, I think is what it is.
But it's moving positively through their budget process. Deerfield has approved it.
Yep.
Yeah, the additional funds that we approved at our last meeting for the maintenance has been approved by all of them. So
Mhm.
we're good for that.
Oh, any news on the town of Oakland, Cambridge, all that rigmarole?
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing.
Silence.
And isn't the date passed for?
We requested a date for an answer of the 10th. We did not get an answer, which means to me that we can't be successful with a January 1st launch. So that's where we're at, is that we won't be asked to provide them service on January 1st, but as you can tell, there's not much effective functioning happening to the east of us. Trying to be very politically correct.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our ear to the rails, as you will.
And we're thankful for the great staff we have and have had good success for the most part, keeping 2 ambulances staffed 24/7.
Yep, we just identified our hiring day for the next 2. That happened over the weekend and today. Also found out that the one person we thought we hired is gonna stay out of country, so now we have to hire 2. Well, we are always gonna have to hire 2. We just thought we had a candidate filled for the one spot. So now we have 2 positions and we have to find 2 people.
When's Trevor's last day?
Was yesterday. But his replacement has already been hired,
Okay.
from internal.
We adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams. It's non-debatable for adjournment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carried. Next week, we have
Fire and class.
budget on Tuesday, 6:30.
Fire this week.
Huh?